Nitro Kit 98 here today, guys. I'm going to be talking about something that I think a lot of people misunderstand how to use. And that is a fuel rail. What we have here is a OBX fuel rail. I bought it off a guy that owns a shop. I don't know if you can see in the video. This thing's actually dirty. It has been used. No signs of leaking at the injectors or anything, which is a common problem with these. It was used on a factory 95 setup. Here's the pressure regulator that actually goes to the end of it here and allows you to run it back to the tank, which is that rubber hose there. The 95s had the fuel pressure regulator at the rail. Why they never kept that setup, I will never understand. It was much better than the fuel pressure regulator being back at the tank as far as I'm concerned. I think it was for the fact of it was cheaper somehow to do it that way. I don't know. But, you know, I work in an automotive company building rear ends, transfer cases and stuff. I'm not going to say the name because I get in trouble if I do. We're not supposed to put on any kind of social media. But I work with engineers on a daily basis because I am a team lead, which is directly under a supervisor. And engineers are some of the biggest dumbasses I've ever met in my entire life. Just some, if it makes sense, they don't do it. But anyway, now, there's a couple reasons that you would purchase a fuel rail. Some of them are completely wrong. Some of them are completely right. A lot of people buy these things as a dress-up factor. On a 420A, that's stupid. You can't really see it. The way the intake manifold curves up, you can kind of get a glimpse of it. But they really are going to have to look hard to see it if they want to see it, except, I guess, the end where the fuel line is going to hook into. But really, it's hard to see, man. It's really not even worth worrying about for a dress-up factor. That's not why I bought it. It just happened to be red. Whatever. The reason that I bought it is because if you remember the video of, I guess, the first few videos when I got busted, I said it sat for 6 years. It had about a quarter tank of gas when it sat. The problem with that is the gas had turned to jelly, and actually some of it had become some kind of solid crust. It had mutated to something I had never seen before. I don't know how to describe it. I've never seen gas turn to any kind of solid. I've kind of seen it jelly up a little bit, but nothing like this. It was just crazy. It has created all kinds of gunk in the gas tank, which I've tried many different ways of getting out with no success, and it will not come completely clean. Being that I'm going to race this car, I do not want any chance of debris getting up near that fuel pump and stopping it up, even though there's a wide space on the strainer for that fuel pump. You know, when you're racing and stuff like that, normally it's just when bad shit happens that you don't need to happen. So the best thing you can do is prevent it. You know, my last name's Murphy, and Murphy's Law is anything that can go wrong will go wrong. So go ahead and try to prevent the shit while you can. So what the actual purpose for a fuel rail really should be, and it's exactly as I'm using it. I'm not sitting here saying just because I'm doing it this way, it's right. No. What I'm using it for is, since the gas tank's ruined, we're going to run that fuel cell right there. That was meant for the white car, but desperate times call for desperate measures because I'm not going to the shootout without a car. And I really want to race this thing this season. What it is you have a fitting over here, which is where the factory stuff can set up, but I'm going to put a piece that's going to convert it to a 6AM. Then on this side, you have where you can either run the factory setup as 95, or it has a 3/8 MPT thread in there. I don't think it's going to focus. Come on, focus. Hold on, guys. I'll get it to focus. Okay, it's not going to focus. Anyway, and what I'm going to do is take that side and also convert it to a 6AN. So I have a return system. It allows me to run AN fittings to the fuel cell where the factory fuel rail cannot accommodate that. It may be able to accommodate it on that end where I can run an AN setting, but it's not going to accommodate it on this end. I'm completely getting rid of the factory fuel system, and this is helping me do it. So that's pretty much what a fuel rail is good for, because a lot of people will tell you, you don't need a fuel rail. The stock fuel rail flows enough. Well, that's fine, but I'm wanting to go fuel cell. And the stock fuel rail is not going to allow me to do that because I'm not going to be able to create a good return method for it. There is a way to create a return method with the factory fuel rail. It is kind of a pain in the butt, but it can be done. What you'll do on the factory fuel rails, normally on, I guess, the 96 and up, the ones that don't have the fuel pressure regulator at 95 here, there's a pressure test port. If you've seen in the one video where I show the pressure test port, you will take a valve stem removal tool, which basically removes the valve out of a tire valve stem. Take that center valve out of that pressure test port, drill that out, and then go to Lowe's and get an adapter that'll actually screw onto that port, and then run a rubber hose such as that, which will run it back to the gas tank. But I'm converting to AN. It just makes it easier and a nice cleaner setup to do this, to run it back to that tank, fuel cell, whatever. I like it that way. One, it's also weight reduction, or two, it's also weight reduction. So that's the actual real good use of a fuel cell, you guys. We're going to bolt this up. We're actually going to put on OBX intake. I got one here. I bought two of them. This is the one I'm using the mock-up right now. It's kind of spray painted. We're actually going to take this thing and get it powder coated and probably use it. The other one I got a lot cleaner, but I don't have it all set up yet. And I'm going to show you how I set up that manifold to get the most out of it. You've seen it in the video. It's the manifold you see in the video giving busted some horsepower. Anyways, guys, Nitro Kid 98. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. If you got any questions, guys, drop them in the comment section below, or go log on to my Facebook page at Facebook/NitroKid98.com, or go on Facebook and type in Nitro Kid 98.